So here's another loan amortization example. So this one states that you purchase a new car for $33,165. What is the outstanding balance on the loan after you make the second payment? If you have a 5-year loan with monthly payments and a 6.84% APR. So it's a little bit more complex than what we have seen, but only slightly, and you should be using the same approach, right? And I'll walk you through that. Obviously, the first thing to solve for is the monthly cash flow, right? That's the monthly cash payments. That's the first thing to solve for. And there you can see I've drawn it up for you. If you follow that, the loan amount and then the factor underneath, so cash flow equals PVA divided by the PVFA, as we've discussed many times before. And that, if you solve for that, either using your regular calculator or a financial calculator, the cash flow should be equal to $653.64. So that's the first thing to identify. After the first month's payment, you've got how much of it. So you know that you're making that first payment of 653.64. How much of that is interest and how much of that is the principal out you're paying off the principal. So you calculate the interest that's generated. That's the $188.05. That's the interest generated on that loan over that first period. And then you subtract the total payment, subtract the interest out of the total payment, and you're left with $465.59, which is the payment towards your principal amount. So therefore, in step 4, you can see that you're subtracting out that amount from the loan amount. Then, and after the first payment, the principal outstanding is $32,699.41. Now you have to go through this process again because remember, this is the problem asks you to for what's happening after the second payment. So repeating the process, basically, you find out what is the interest generated on the loan in the second period. Now here, there's a subtle shift because your principal outstanding is no longer the initial amount, but it's that reduced amount of $32,699.41. That's your principal outstanding. And so your interest will be calculated on that amount. That's the thing you need to pay attention to in this problem. And that interest rate is $185.41, which then you subtract out from your equal annual payment of $653.64. And therefore, you're left with the second payment. The payment towards principal outstanding is $468.23, which then you proceed to subtract out of the principal that's outstanding, which at the beginning of that period, which is $32,699.41, and then you're left with $32,231.18, which is the answer to the problem, right? So again, just to practice, here's another example that you should be able to solve now with following the same steps as I've outlined here, and you should be in great shape. Good luck with it.